Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into a really interesting take on generational dynamics. We're going to look at millennials, but not just as a demographic. We're talking about them as a crucial, one-of-a-kind cultural and economic bridge. So what's at the heart of this? It's this concept of a bridge generation. Just think about it for a second. These are the last folks who can actually remember life before the internet was, well, everything. That's the analog world. But they were also the very first generation to grow up in the digital one, making them completely fluent in the world we all live in today. You know, having one foot in that past and one foot planted firmly in the future, that creates a pretty fascinating dynamic. So let's really dig in and explore what that unique position means for, well, all of us. All right, first up, let's unpack what makes this generation a potentially unstoppable force, and not just some group caught between two different worlds. Honestly, the best way to think about it is that they're culturally bilingual. They remember the before, the dial-up modem screeches and rotary phones. That gives them a perspective that a pure digital native just can't have. But they also totally mastered the after. So they have the digital speed and intuition that older generations are, let's be honest, still getting the hang of. Okay, so let's go a little deeper here. What exactly makes this bilingual skill so special, especially right now? It really comes down to this incredible kind of generational code switching. They can speak boomer, understanding the high value placed on tradition, on legacy. They get the pragmatic, skeptical corporate vibe of Gen X. And then they can seamlessly turn around and thrive in Gen Z's super fast, meme-driven digital world. In a way, they're the translators for the entire modern workplace. So they have this dual capacity, right? They can operate with boomer patience, or they can move with Gen Z speed. And this is the key, which one they use, which path they take, it all boils down to one single critical factor: resources. Do they have what they need to build something that lasts, or are they just stuck trying to disrupt what's already there? And this all hinges on one massive pivotal question. What if the fundamental conditions that have defined them their whole lives, what if those were to suddenly change? What if this bridge generation finally had the capital, the funding, the resources to actually match their vision? What if they were given the kind of power that previous generations often took for granted? Well, the theory goes that the result would be nothing short of a massive transformation. The bridge generation would stop being just a connector, and they would become a power generation. You see, when you combine that old world patience with new world speed, and then you fully fund it, you create something brand new. The argument is that they wouldn't just be competitive in that scenario. No, they would be economically unstoppable. This right here, this is the crucial shift. A bridge just connects 2 points, right? It reacts to the landscape. But a power generator, it creates the landscape. It doesn't just respond to the agenda, it sets the agenda. And the potential scale of this whole thing is just staggering. We're not talking about a few years of influence here and there. We are talking about the potential to shape the entire cultural, financial, and technological conversation for the next half of a century, 50 years. Now, you might hear all this and think it sounds like one generation is about to take over. But the really fascinating part of this whole idea is that it's framed as a win-win, where every single generation actually stands to gain something huge. For baby boomers, it means their legacy is actually safe. They would get to see their institutions preserved and thoughtfully improved, not just torn down for the sake of disruption. They'd see a generation managing resources with the same long-term vision that they've always valued. And for Gen X, this is where their hard-won experience finally gets the respect it deserves. They become these absolutely essential partners, the ones who blend proven strategies with new tech. It's not about being pushed aside. It's about being elevated into leadership roles where their pragmatism is the secret sauce. And what about millennials themselves? Well, this is the moment. This is about finally unlocking their full potential. They get the resources to make their ideas a reality. And they get to play and win in both the corporate and the creative game, all while acting as the leaders who unite everyone else. And Gen Z, this scenario is like giving them pure rocket fuel. I mean, can you imagine? They'd get mentors who not only understand their digital world intuitively, but who also have the capital to back their most innovative ideas. That's total freedom to push trends and create, knowing someone has their back financially. So when you pull it all together, the picture you see isn't one of generational warfare. It's a picture of incredible synergy, all unlocked by just one key variable, which leaves us with this one big, thought-provoking question to chew on. With the right resources, could one generation's unique role as a bridge actually become the foundation for